Well, for the latest on those stimulus talks, I want to bring in Chris Markowski, the founder of Markowski Investments. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you? It is looking like we will possibly get a stimulus agreement before Election Day, but we probably won't be getting a deal passed before then. Do you think this was a strategy by Democrats to kick the can down the road just long enough to not actually pass anything before the election?
I think that they were in a situation where they could have played it either way. I think that states like New York and California and Illinois are in really dire straits when it comes to money right now. So if the Republicans were to agree to bail them out, they would have probably gone along with it right away. In this situation, they can say, well, okay, they're not willing to go along with the state aid, so we're going to push this down the road. The reality is that many people can't get back to work. And in particular, in some of those blue states, whether it be California, today Disney saying that, gee whiz, we're not going to be able to open up in California, not going to let us. We all know what's going on in the state of New York, especially New York City. Restaurants at 25% capacity, Broadway not opening up. There's a myriad of people out there that are out of work and that will need unemployment. Those people are in dire straits. The fact that they're playing politics with this, it's awful. It really is.
We're less than 2 weeks away from the election now. Let's do a hypothetical here. If Joe Biden were to win on November 3rd and Democrats were to possibly take control of both chambers of Congress, could we expect them to pull back on a stimulus bill during that lame duck session?
I could see it happening. I could see the president, maybe saying, hey, listen, I don't want to go along with this. But if that's the case, what are you going to get down the road? Some of the people are estimating close to $7 trillion in stimulus down the road. They want to do all of this new green, new jobs things. Some of the latest legislation to get into Congress is to eliminate all gas cars by 2035, down to 50% of gas cars by 2025. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of infrastructure spending. That's a lot of charging stations out there. So yeah, I would expect with a blue wave type of a situation, the big banks are going to be happy. There's going to be a lot of money flowing and a lot of money being printed at that point in time. That's going to be flowing around. But to me, this is all steroids. It's not long term. For the long term, it's not healthy for the overall economy. It's all fake.
Now, weekly jobless claims did fall to the lowest level since the pandemic hit the U.S. last week. That's great, but it does come with a caveat. Claims under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program rose. That program does give people an additional 13 weeks of eligibility after they use all of their unemployment benefits. What's your take on the recovery of the labor market at this point?
I think it's going as best as it can. It's only going to do as well as far as businesses open up around the country. I knew we were going to hit a bit of a wall. Now, you have to take a look at the amount of people that are actually looking for work as well. Many people are just saying, give it up at this point in time. What are they going to do if there's no jobs out there? And again, there's certain places around the country where that's not the case. It's kind of interesting to watch at this point in time. I was actually talking about this a little bit earlier on your network. We were talking about the fact that Boston decided to shut down schools today because of the uptick in COVID. Now, what that does to all of the families out there that, in essence, they do rely on schools as babysitters over the course of the day. They can't go to work now. That's going to obviously hurt that area. We deal with this all around the country because there's nothing in many areas in regard to saying, hey, you know what, we're going to have to learn to live with COVID. We got to understand that schools, we have not had outbreaks there, and we have to get these parents back to work.
All right, Chris Markowski, the founder of Markowski Investments, joining us to discuss the economy amid the pandemic. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.